Hi. Ignore my nose if it looks weird. If you don't think it looks weird, then you could look at it, but if it looks weird and dumb, just ignore it. I have no ability to perceive if this looks incredibly goofy or not. Okay, so it's time to bring the fish over. It's time. I was going to make this video about not only just bringing the fish over, but also setting up the filtration system. Something weird happened to me with my Amazon order though. It's never happened before. It just says undeliverable. It said it was on its way, it said it was arriving, everything up until the day I was expecting it. And then it just says undeliverable. It doesn't say why, it doesn't explain anything. I can go order the exact item again right away and order it to the house. Like there's nothing stopping me from getting the exact same product again and shipping it here. So I don't know what happened. I don't really understand. It's not like they're sold out of the product. I had other items arrive at the house the same day, so it's nothing to do with my address. I don't know, but it said undeliverable. So I'm gonna wait until all of my filtration media stuff that I ordered gets here, and then we'll just do a whole video on it. Oh, I forgot I was making pizza. Gluten-free pizza, but pizza. Okay, hold on. Okay, there's nothing stopping me. Light almost bonked me on the head, that's fine. Nothing's necessarily stopping me from eating and continuing to record. But you know what's better than talking while eating pizza? Watching TV while eating pizza. That's better. So I'm gonna do that and then I'll come back. Okay, I'm back from eating my pizza. Oh, Ghost, let's not sniff my plate. It's time to bring the fish. So I went over to my parents' house to go collect the clownfish because it seemed like it was as good of a time as any to go get them. And just to start things out, I want to show y'all something. Every time I've gone to visit the 150-gallon tank, I mention how it's looking worse and worse and how it's falling apart. Yeah. I realize though every time I go there and I get footage of me being there, the way y'all see the tank isn't the way I'm seeing the tank. I have some very nice lights on that tank. They were like, I think $600 each. Very nice lights. And those lights are on a schedule that I thought suited my corals best back when the tank had corals. You see those lights. Those lights don't pick up very well on camera and they kind of turn everything blue. Like, yeah, it looks blue in person too, but you could still see the dimension in everything and all the rocks and all the colors of the corals and the fish. And on camera, it's just all kind of blue. Everything is blue. So to show you guys exactly what I mean when I say the tank is falling apart, I switched it off of the custom mode and I put it on auto daylight mode, which takes most of the blue away. And yeah, look at it. I hope we're on the same page now here. Not that anyone was arguing with me about it, I'm just saying. You can now kind of see what I'm seeing. The lights still pick up a little weird, it's not perfect, but I think you get the idea now. It's looking bad.
What are you thinking about?
It's looking bad. It's looking rough. So catching them is not going to be super easy. The second the net gets close to them, they're gonna dive right into the rocks to hide, which is fair. I mean, obviously they don't know what's going on. They just see a giant object hovering towards them, so they're gonna hide. There's a lot of rock in that tank for them to hide in, and my goal was to avoid having to take all of that rock apart because there's a lot, and to take it all apart, I'm not good at putting the rock work together anyway, so if I take it apart, I don't know how I'm even gonna put it back together. Even though there's no reason for it to need to look pretty, it's still just gonna be sitting at my parents' house and I don't want it to look even uglier than it already looks, so I really was trying to avoid tearing the rock apart. This is just an example in the footage of showing you guys what happens when the net gets close to them. I wasn't actually trying to catch them in that clip. But before I go to catch them, I'm gonna clean the tank up a little bit because there are still inverts all hiding in the rocks. There's some straggler corals just throughout the rocks too, and there's live rock. And I want to keep the tank functioning at the bare minimum until I'm ready to sell all that stuff off. Again, it's sitting in my parents' kitchen, so try to make it look as best as I can until it's out of there. But after I did that, now it's time to catch them. My goal was to use the net to guide them to the back wall because that takes them away from all the rock they could hide in, and it only leaves them with really two options: to either swim into the net or to swim up. And if they do swim up, I can just continue to pick the net up until it scoops them up. So that was the goal. I was really hoping to do minimal rock moving. I didn't want to have to move all the rock around. Yeah, it didn't work. The fish kept going into the rock. I had to tear it all down. After I tore it all down though, I tried the same method of guiding them to the back wall and I caught them both within 5 minutes. So at least that part of the plan worked. But I did have to try to get all the rock set back up, which wasn't fun at all. I didn't actually film myself catching them because I needed to use both hands to do it, but you get the idea. I caught them and now they're coming over here. In addition to the clownfish, I also had a few hermits and snails that I caught and an emerald crab that happened to be in one of the pieces of the rock that I brought today. And I also brought my sand sifting starfish. I only brought her so she could be in a better tank for the time being, but alongside my urchin, who I brought last time, I'm also going to be rehoming her. So they'll both be going to a fish store whenever I make it over to one, but they're at least safe in this tank until then, instead of stuck in the 150 where it was really up in the air how much longer they could have survived. So the next step is getting the fish and the inverts acclimated to the water that they'll be going into. So they were in the water in the 150 and now they're coming to a tank with much different parameters, a much more healthy tank, but still very different from the water that they were in. Even if it's better water than what they were in previously, you don't want to throw a fish into a suddenly different set of water parameters. It could send them into shock and they sometimes don't recover from that and die. So you don't want to do that. You want to slowly acclimate them to the new water. It doesn't matter if it's cleaner or better water. Being introduced to all new water too rapidly can freak them out and potentially kill them. So we don't want to do that. There are some fish that are hardier, like clownfish are hardier fish than others. So they probably could handle being thrown into a new tank better than other fish could, but I don't like to risk it. So we're just going to be safe. Although the method that I normally like to do, I can't do this time. I do like to drip acclimate them, which is basically putting them in a bucket with their old water, the water that they're coming from, and tying a tube into the tank with the new water, and then you tie a knot in the middle of the tube and it makes the water slowly drip from the new tank into the old water, and it makes the shift very gradual.
So let me show you how to do that for all of these good fish. Now the way we do this is called a drip acclimation system. First thing you're going to need is an air pump. It does not have to be a nice one, it could be any kind of air pump. About 5 feet of airline tubing, this is like 10 feet, but 5 feet of airline tubing should be plenty. I'm going to put this rag rack in my tank, and this is just going to be something that's going to hold on to my airline tubing. So what we're going to do next is get the airline tubing, and you're going to put one side in the tank, make sure it stays. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to start the siphoning effect.
You're probably going to have to put your mouth on this.
Okay, now once you start it, you're going to see the water's going to come out really fast. This is not dripping, this is too fast. So what you're going to do is you're going to tie a knot in your airline tubing. Now it's dripping. Now if the drips are still too fast, you can do another knot. And now you're literally going to leave it in there dripping until the water at least doubles. And then check it, see if the salinity matches your tank, and then you can you won't pick your fish up like this, but pick your fish up and put them in there.
Hold on, I've been sitting on my knees this whole time and I can't feel them anymore, so I need to move. Okay, let's fix this a little bit now because I'm down lower. Okay, anyway, I don't have any tubing to do the drip acclimation method. It was something I completely glossed over and didn't think to get. So the other method that still works, it's not as smooth of a transition as a single drop being added into the old water from the new water every few seconds. Like that's a very smooth transition. Instead, what I'm going to do is float them in a baggie of their old water in my new tank. And every like 15 to 30 minutes, I add a little scoop of water from my new tank into the little baggie that they're in. And this also allows for the temperature to even out between the bag that they're in and my tank. And it still works. It's not as precise, since every time you scoop up a little scoop of water, you're adding it right away into the old bag instead of it dripping in slowly. But it still works. I also keep the lights off for this. 1, so they're not being blasted by the lights when they're floating, but 2, having the lights off while they're introduced just provides a little extra sense of safety for them so they don't feel as exposed. So yeah, keeping the lights off, and every 15 to 20 minutes-ish, I'm going over there and adding more water into their baggies. The first wave of new critters to go in are the snails, the hermits, and the emerald crab, because they aren't as sensitive to the water changes as other fish and inverts can be. So they're the first to be introduced. Then the sand-sifting starfish. And then the 2 clownfish. I was worried about this. I don't know why I got so nervous as like it was coming down to time to let them into the tank. I should have felt reassured by the idea that they have survived this long in my 150 with all of its issues. So I should have felt confident that they could handle a new tank that has all the correct parameters but is maybe less stable of a tank since it's newer. But I don't know, I just got so nervous. I really was worried that something was gonna happen and that they wouldn't make it overnight, or just that the trip alone was just too much for them. But luckily, none of my fears came true. They're doing great. They've been doing great. I've had them for over a week now at least. Everyone's doing great. For the first night, they definitely did spend most of the time just circling in one little spot. The little clownfish is a very committed boyfriend. He immediately went and found his big goth mommy girlfriend and stayed by her side the whole night, and has been staying by her side since, but you know, just saying. He immediately went to find her. So I did bring the last 2 pieces of rock that I wanted over with me alongside with the clownfish. So same routine now as the last time. Gotta clean all the rocks off. These guys were especially filthy. There was one piece of rock that I really wanted from my 150. It was kind of donut shaped, and I imagined that I could do something fun with it in this tank, but it was covered in cyanoalgae. It had an Aptasia anemone on it. It had hair algae on it, but I did bring the other rock I really wanted to get. It's really big, and I'm probably gonna struggle to find a way to make it work with all the other rock, but it looks like a little cave, and I love it. And the clownfish have been using it as a cave, which I love. The rocks were filthy that I did bring, but this is it. No more rock after this. There is so much rock in the tank now, and I am so bad at aquascaping. I'm so bad at organizing the rock to make it look good. I'm gonna really struggle with this, but I'll figure it out. But there's so many people I've met in the reefing community that can just like see a set of rocks and know exactly how to set it up to make it perfect. I don't know how they do that. I can't do that, but I'll figure something out.
Rainy days don't seem so wet. Stormy nights don't stay. From the moment that we met.
After getting all the rock cleaned up, I put it in the tank. This is what all the rock looks like, just randomly stacked in the tank. It's not gonna look like this long term. This is just all the rock accumulating in the tank as I brought it over. I haven't designed it yet. It's not gonna look like this. I've been feeding the tank every day since then. Everyone's been doing great.
You're worth the wait. Oh, this could be the best thing that I'll ever know.
He's looking for food. He's looking. I'm trying to monitor how much I put in the tank because, like, this food comes in a cube, but that's just way too much food for this tank. Oh my god, the bird! They're beefing with my cats. Y'all see this, right? What is going on? This bird has been here all day. It is 8 o'clock. This has been going on since like 4:30. I don't know what's happening. Honestly, I think there's even less space for the sand-sifting starfish than there is for the urchin, because the urchin is surprisingly good at shoving himself through all this rock. She's pushing that little hermit crab with her. He's getting run over. She's gonna run him over, and she's running him over, and he's trying to flee at the same time. Okay. I think she's starting the push. I think she's burying herself right there. She's gonna have to go. It's just, there's not any space for her in this tank. She's slowly disappearing. But they've been doing so good. The little guy is just following his big girlfriend around everywhere, as if it is his life's mission to just follow her around. And the starfish is under the sand now. That's exactly what I wish I could do in my bed. I wish I could just melt into it, become one with the bed. That's where we're leaving it off today because I have to wait for the rest of my filtration media to get here before I start setting up the filtration in the tank. I did get a power head for the tank, or a wave maker, to increase the flow in the tank, but I haven't put it in yet. I have to design the rock work before I place the power head so I know that it's in a good spot to hit the rocks in the right way. So I need to do that, and like I said, I need to set up the filtration media. I have a very, very basic amount of filtration in there right now. We're gonna set up some media baskets back there and get it all set up in a way where this tank gets all the filtration it needs. I'm just not gonna let myself fall behind on the filtration and the water changes like I did with the 150. Things are just so different now. After being used to working with a 150-gallon tank and having to do trash can sized water changes, this has been great. So I'm super excited to keep working on it. We still have plenty of stuff to do, because even after the filtration media is set up and even after the rock work is designed, we still have a whole community to create in there. All the corals, all the inverts, more fish. There's still plenty to do. So that's exciting, but I am very glad my clownfish are over here now and that they are out of that tank and that they are healthy and that they are happy and that they are safe. Super happy about that. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. What's your deal?